Okay, today we're going to be looking at a very brief overview of ancient Greece. You can find more information in your textbook in sections 4.2, 4.3, and 4.5. Your focus questions for today: identify the power changes in the Greek region over time, and define the different types of governments that develop in the Greek city-states. So let's go. Here's a map of modern-day Europe. The area we're going to be focusing on is in the bottom right. And you can see Greece right there. Let's get a closer view. Before what we think of as the Greek Golden Age, there's two other civilizations who kind of inhabit this region. Well, there's more than that, but the two major ones are the Minoans and the Mycenaeans, who both, for periods of time, have their Golden Age and reach their peak. The Minoans between 1600 and 1400 BC, and the Mycenaeans between 1600 and 1100 BC. But we're going to really be looking at Greek city-states, what they call a polis. And all a city-state is a major city or town surrounded by the countryside. And so all these little white dots you see on the map, the two most famous being Sparta and Athens, are independent city-states. Greece is not a unified country, nation, or empire. These are all independent. Some have alliances, some don't. And what we are going to see happen between 750 and 500 BC is Greek government in these city-states is going to evolve. So that's what we're going to look at next. Many city-states start out with a monarchy. It's a government with a hereditary ruler who exercises central power. Think of a king. Hereditary simply means that power is passed down through the bloodline. There's no voting here. And whoever is in control has total power. And what we're going to see is that wealthy people who want to support the monarch are going to begin pushing for more and more power. And this is going to cause many city-states to develop an aristocracy, which is ruled by the land-holding elite. Basically, people who own land are the wealthiest, and they're going to begin running city-states. And this is going to evolve even further. And what we're going to see happen is that power is going to be concentrated into the hands of a small few wealthy elite. And this is known as an oligarchy. So you can think of literally just a small group of people now running the government. And the final one we're going to look at is democracy, which is government ruled by the majority of people. And really this is going to develop in Athens under Pericles between 460 and 429 BC. And what we see is that people have more of a say on a day-to-day level. The only catch is you have to be a citizen or considered a citizen in order to vote. Citizenship is usually limited to landowning men. So not all people do have a say in this type of democracy. We're going to switch gears now, and we're going to look at some conflicts in the Greek world. The first thing we need to look at is the Persian Empire, actually. Persian Empire is the mightiest empire in the world. It's the largest empire at this time, stretching from Eastern Europe, here you can see Greece, all the way to India, modern-day India. And what's going to happen are the Persian Wars. It's a series of events in which the Persians are going to invade the Greek city-states and either be putting down a rebellion or reacting to things that the Greek city-states have done. And what we see is on numerous occasions the Greek city-states are able to unite together and fend off the Persian Empire, the mightiest empire in the world. This is a very basic overview of the events. This is by no means detailed. So what's going to happen, though, is we see after they're able to hold off the Persians, Athens is going to kind of take the lead in the Greek region. And what we see is that many Greek city-states begin to resent the Athenian domination of the region. And so what we see is that Athens and Sparta pretty much develop their own two separate alliances against each other. And in 431 BC, war is going to break out between Athens and Sparta, and it's going to last almost to the end of the century. It lasts some 27 years. with Sparta eventually winning, defeating the much more powerful Athenians and their navy. And what this really does is it ends Athens' domination of the Greek world, and it also kind of pushes Greek civilization to begin to decline. This is kind of the end, the beginning of the end, I should say, of Greek civilization and its power and influence in the region. And we're going to kind of take that next step and see what happens. And really is going to focus on this guy right here, Alexander the Great. Before we can get to him, though, we need to look at Philip II of Macedonia. He is going to ascend to the crown of Macedon in 359 BC, some 40 years after the end of the Peloponnesian Wars. And if we look right here, Macedonia, highlighted in red, just north of the Greek city-states. Well, in 338 BC, Philip II and his army is able to defeat Athens and Thebes. And this really is going to kind of propel Macedonia and Philip II, so much so that his goal and his dream is to conquer the Persian Empire. Well, before he's able to do this, he's assassinated, and his wife, I should say his queen, Olympus, places her son Alexander on the throne at a very, very young age. And this is going to lead to Alexander essentially picking up where Philip II left off. And between 336 and 323 BC, Alexander is going to conquer his own empire and essentially conquer the Persian Empire. It's going to stretch all the way from Eastern Europe, here we see the Greek region, all the way through the Middle East and into India, reaching the Indus River Valley. So essentially he has conquered the Persian Empire and kind of fulfilled Philip II's dream of conquering it. That's where we're going to stop today. And so what we want to do before we go is look at those focus questions again. Remember, number one, identify the power changes in the Greek region over time. And two, define the different types of governments that develop in the Greek city-states. Once again, you can refer back to sections 4.2, 4.3, and 4.5 in your textbook for more